Welcome back, nerds. We're your hosts this week. I am Jake.
And I am Chad.
This week, we are sponsored by Ray's Energy Drinks.
We are also sponsored by Crybaby Craig's Crack Sauce. Because that's what it's like.
Damn near crack.
It's actually called Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce, but it is crack.
It is. This week, we're going to be talking about the Obi Wan Kenobi show on Disney Plus, as well as the first episode of Miss Marvel on Disney Plus.
We're also going to be talking about episode 4 of The Boys.
Oh,
so good.
So good.
And yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah. Anyways, let's get into it. This is... Don't look at me like that.
Sorry.
Do not look at me like that.
I'm sorry.
This is the All Things Nerd Podcast. Tink.
Nerd. Welcome back, nerds, to another episode of the All Things Nerd Podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. So, Jake, how was your week this week?
This week has been pretty chill. I don't have a ton to share. I lost myself.
Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about this week on our personal lives.
We have a lot to talk about in the nerd realm, so we're trying to skip the banter this week. It is Pride Month.
Yeah.
We have new merch up on our new store.
On our new website, just allthingsnerdpodcast.com. Brand new website with the store built into it, so it's all in one place. You can also check out the latest episode on the website there. Yeah. Also, next week, we do have an awesome guest in the realm of nerd and it being Pride Month. So that's super exciting. Also, our live stream coming up on July 2nd.
Yeah, we have not had a live stream since
we went to New York, I think.
Was it New York? Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been a long
since
time.
like last fall.
Yeah. So we got another live stream coming up where we're gonna. Oh, we should have put the box up here for the.
But we are doing the Hot Ones challenge.
Hot Ones challenge
with some vegan nuggies.
We're gonna cry. Some vegan nuggies.
Yeah,
we're gonna cry. It's gonna be bad. Also joining us for that will be my beautiful girlfriend Nicole.
I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. And then you guys get to finally see what the person that makes fun of us the most looks like. Love you, Nicole.
She has to tap out before you.
Oh, I'm gonna get through
it. If you tap out before she does,
I'm going to complain, but I'm getting through it.
Yeah, we might have to like pause a couple times just to like, you know, and then like come back to it. But we'll get through them all.
Yeah, we'll get through them all.
I think.
We'll see.
I've seen people get the ambulance called for them. That's gonna be you.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'll just die. It's fine. I'll just die.
I'll just like, what's their name? Bonet you. They'll just find you in the utility room, dead. And I'll be like, I had no idea you was there. What?
No.
My child.
Just tell them about our first sponsor, Jake.
Sponsor number 1 is Ray's Energy Drinks. It is a 0 sugar, 0 crash, and 0 carb energy drink. It's delicious. They also make a number of other things other than energy drinks, including pancakes, cupcakes in a cup.
Yeah.
What else? Help me out here.
Pre-workout.
Oh, workout. Yeah, workout shit. Yeah.
Supplements to help you sleep better.
Yeah, dude.
All that.
I drink these, and I shouldn't. They're delicious. Check them out. Listen up. We'll tell you more about it.
What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Ray's Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, empowered by their Refresh formula technology, Raise Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Raise Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you. All right, everyone. So this week, we have a lot to talk about, but we do want to touch base on, it's episode 4 now of Obi Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus. And damn it, guys, friends, everyone listening.
So disappointed in you.
I know.
Keep it rolling.
But this show is so fucking good.
It's so good. Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
Well, what this isn't even something that we scripted, but something that we noticed.
Before, spoiler alert, episode 4,
alert,
Obi Wan Kenobi.
Just in general. Just when you
for the rest of the episode.
When you come into this show, our podcast, just spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But
we'll remind you every week. Maybe. We'll try. Continue though. What did we not script that you wanted to talk about?
Oh shit, the from the last episode 3, when Obi-Wan uses he like breaks like a gas or the steam into Vader's face, and Vader is like, oh, I can't see, and then whatever, and then but if you remember from
Empire Strikes Back,
Luke does the same thing to Vader, and Vader goes, oh, I can't see, and he goes, Obi-Wan has taught you well. Yeah, so it's kind of like a cool like tie back too.
Yeah, they're creating a lot of parallels to fill a lot of those gaps, because even in, I think it's Return of the Jedi, Luke is like, oh, there's good in you, I sense it. And he's like, Obi-Wan once thought the same thing. It's like, before this show, there is no proof that Obi-Wan ever thought that. Darth
and then
Vader.
Of course the biggest one would be in I Have the High Ground. That, you know what I mean? I mean it was in the original Star Wars, and then when they show it in sorry.
That's also in Return of the Jedi, right? Yeah, because that's when Vader's threatening to kill Leia.
Yeah.
And Luke's like, no!
Yeah.
My sister that I made out with.
They didn't. So here's the thing.
They
watched
kissed, and it was
a peck.
It was a peck in the first, in A New Hope. Mm-hmm. In Empire Strikes Back, it was like a longer kiss.
Did they kiss again?
Yeah, but it's only to make Han Solo jealous.
Oh, I missed that. I just started rewatching these with the old ball and shit. I love you, Nicole. With Nicole, and I made her start watching Obi-Wan, and I was like, if you like this, let's go back and watch Star Wars, and she did. So we did, and we've only seen the first one, A New Hope, so far. So it's been a while since I've seen the rest of them. We'll get
they kissed twice throughout the original trilogy. The second one is just to make Han jealous.
That's gross.
Yeah, and then especially because then in Return of the Jedi, he's like, "You're my sister," and she's like, "I think I always knew." And I was like, "You kissed him twice? That's gross." Yeah, he never noticed that.
That's nasty. That's nasty.
Bam, 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 bam.
What are you doing, real bro?
Wanda?
Oh my god, we are so far off.
We haven't even touched on our first talking point. What the before we get to our actual talking points, Obi Wan Kenobi has already been picked up for a second season.
Oh yeah, dope. So dope.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I love this. Maybe we'll actually get to see Ray Park come back as Darth Maul as well.
Hopefully. There's only 2 episodes left of this season, so I mean, they don't have far to go.
Well, yeah, but also between the animated series and stuff like that, there's a lot of story that's already been filled in. Yeah. But I'm okay with the fact that there's going to be a second season because Ewan McGregor.
This is also, this is very much a rescue episode. I did that because I fucked that up real bad.
Because you could not write the word rescue.
It took me a second just now to be like, what the fuck did I write there? It is very much a rescue episode. They are, as we know in the last episode, episode 3, Obi-Wan Kenobi gets fucked up.
Yeah.
Fucked up by Vader. And he basically like barbecues him for a little bit. Yeah. So in this episode, we see him like in a healing tank.
Which back to tank.
Back to which we've seen in not Mandalorian.
Book of Boba Fett.
Book of Boba Fett. Thank you.
Also, Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. So he kind of heals.
Yeah, he kind of forces his way out of it before he's like fully healed because he has a panic attack. I don't know, underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to stay there either.
He's like, "Where's Leia?" And then,
yeah. So the rest of the episode is Tala.
We like Tala.
Tala is dope.
We hate Tala in Game of Thrones, but we like Tala in
Star
Wars.
She's a jerk in Game of Thrones, just murdering children. But in Obi Wan Kenobi, she's an awesome ally. And she's there to help Obi-Wan basically go and save Leia from the Inquisitors, which brings them to their like water base, ocean base.
Yeah.
They do mention that it's a moon of Mustafar, which is where Vader's like castle is in the comics, but we know Mustafar from episode 3 where Obi-Wan and Anakin fight and sorry. But it's cool because we get references to all that. But we also get to see Leia being interrogated. And she's a tough little cookie.
Yeah, she's a badass.
I'm glad I remembered that because you just wrote cookie tough.
Cookie tough. Tough cookie.
Yeah. Got you cookie, got me cookie.
Got me cookie. Got you cookie, give me cookie. Anyways, no, she's badass. You think she's not gonna... Are you trying to decipher my notes?
Yeah, we already talked about that one, though. But we... I remember what you wrote. I didn't think I was going to.
You got to write these out because
this
is bad.
But, so as Obi-Wan and Tala are going to rescue Leia... Mm-hmm. He's basically, according to Jake's notes, he says, Tala, I suck. But basically, he's just unsure of himself because he's kind of cut himself off from the Force.
Yeah. He sucks.
And she's like, well, you got to figure it out because otherwise this is not going to work. But we get to see that throughout the episode.
I don't even know my own notes.
But as they break into the prison or the Inquisitor's headquarters where Leia is held captive, I know this chair. WD-40 it next time, please.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I think it's just the back and forth.
It's all of them.
Yeah.
But
just hold still.
We see Obi-Wan as he's navigating through this prison, has to use the Force more and more to defend himself, to trick stormtroopers, all of this. And we see that at first he's starting to struggle, then it becomes very second nature to him again.
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
And for those of you that might have played the Jedi Fallen Order game, this
I did.
prison looks very familiar because it's very much the final act of the game, which is cool. It's so much of it is underwater. We even get very similar like parallels towards the end of the episode, which is really, really cool because I mean they're just taking place 5 years apart, but they're very similar. And yeah,
Fallen Order was badass.
It was such a great game.
I'm not a huge gamer, but I played the game because it came with my Xbox. I have the hiccups.
Yeah.
In RP2 time. But it's fucking awesome. And yeah, so I pointed that out right away when I was watching it.
It's just cool. Because it makes it all... I'm sorry, this...
I was looking at my notes and I just went, almost kills bitch too.
Oh, that's because the line starts up there.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, we'll jump back to the actual escape. But at one point in time, we do see Vader, and he's pissed with Sister 2.
Because she... and I'm sorry, in the notes I wrote it that way. I'm a fan. Okay. Yeah. I wrote it that way because I thought it was funny. And now that I'm reading it back, I'm like, shit. I totally didn't understand my own.
No,
notes.
she's killing the role, but her character is a bitch.
Total bitch.
And it's Sister 2.
And that just means she's doing a good job.
She's doing a fantastic job.
Because like we're supposed to hate her
playing
character.
This twisted character. And you view her as this twisted character.
And Vader just fucking choke slams her into the sky. And it's like, I told you if you failed me, I'd kill you. And she's like, I'd put a tracker on.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, my bad. What'd you do? And she's like, I put a tracker on the girl. And he's like, I underestimated you. And she's like, yeah. So... what she did, she put a tracker in Leia's bot. She's got this little weird bot. I forget the name of it. What's the bot's name?
I forget the name of the bot too, but it's like it looks like a little like ladybug, and it's just kind of her
bot
companion.
Yeah,
it's her R2 for a child.
Yeah,
it's not like an astromech droid. It's just it's a Furby, a space Furby. I think that's called a furry.
Yeah. I got a Furby when I was a kid, and
Did it terrify you?
I think.
Did you feed it after midnight? Because then it turns into
I'm pretty sure that thing hated us. Yeah, we colored it and tattooed it and beat the shit out of it. Its skin
punk rock furry.
Its skin ended up coming off, and it just it was bad.
I never had a Furby.
Yeah, me neither.
What? So that's why you don't like cats. Just kidding.
Oh, shit.
But I'm sorry. But so they put a tracker in Leia's droid. But before they actually escape, there's a very dramatic scene where they're fully underwater, and Obi-Wan is actually using the Force and his lightsaber to deflect blasters, redirect shots with the Force.
Yeah. Beautifully done. Good job.
It looks so good, but they crack a window in this underwater tunnel.
Yep.
And we see Obi-Wan. I know. You got some big dogs running around upstairs.
I don't know what's going on up there.
But he uses the Force to kind of redirect the collapsing window and floodwaters to subdue the stormtroopers and basically drown a bunch of bitches. But they use that to escape. And it, again, going back to Jedi Fallen Order, that's very similar to what actually
ending
happens.
Scene of the game. Yeah,
that's the end of the final mission before the final cutscene.
Vader shows up.
Yeah, and it was so well done. Especially to see it live action versus in a video game.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was super cool. But we see Tala, Leia, and Obi-Wan kind of like sneaking through the rest of the base to get to their transport to leave, and they get stopped. And then we get some, I know them as snow speeders. I'm sure that there's actual like terminology for what they are, or like mining speeders, whatever. But to me, they will always be the snow speeders from Hoth. But they show up and they basically clear a way for them to escape, which is super cool.
Yeah.
But what happens?
Well, we lose one of them.
One of them
dies.
Shot down. Or exploded, basically, because the second sister uses the Force to throw a fuel cell at one of them and just
kills him. Yeah.
And this is really like the start of the Rebel Alliance, which is really, really awesome to see.
It's badass.
Because it's a bunch of people that just don't care about the Empire, but they're just trying to keep their heads low. They're mining colonies, kind of safe houses for refugees, but
this is like
now they're being drawn into
that's
the rebellion.
This is like early on in the rebellion.
Yeah.
And the rebellion is very small. And then the people who are not trying to be a part of the rebellion are unfortunately and fortunately for, are being pulled into the rebellion, realizing that, they have to be.
They have to. They can't just be idle. They actually have to participate instead of just offering refuge. They actually have to fight now. This episode was incredible.
I really enjoyed this one.
I'm so excited for the last 2 episodes, and now I hope that, I don't know, like, that they already filmed season 2 and it just comes out like a month from now.
Doubtful.
Yeah, I know. it's not, but I want more. But let's move on to Miss Marvel, because we got the first episode.
Yeah. So Jesus Christ. So first of all, Miss Marvel's the newest Marvel. I know it sounds weird saying it that
MCU,
way, but MCU, but a better way to put it. It's on Disney Plus now, streaming. First episode's out, and I mean, shit. We talked about it for months coming up, and it did not disappoint.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was really good. It's very coming of age, very much like a Peter Parker.
Yeah, it felt very
Spider-Man.
like Homecoming-esque.
Yeah.
This first episode is the origin story. She gets her powers partway through the episode. Yeah. And before anyone freaks out,
spoiler alert,
that also, it is not the traditional comic book how she gets her powers.
Yeah. We've talked about this.
We've talked about it. We've kind of complained about it also. Yeah. But so far, especially, we'll get to it in a minute with the theory that you presented to me, where it still makes sense, and it still is at least not ignoring.
It's still eligible.
Yeah, it's not ignoring the comic book roots. They're just modifying it a little bit because...
Which they've done in the past. I would look at Shang-Chi.
Yeah, exactly. And with...
still a great movie.
The disaster that was the Inhumans TV show. Mm-hmm. I get it.
Yeah.
I am bummed that they're not going with the full Inhuman aspect of it. So far, it's only been 1 episode. They can retcon it a few different ways. But the show is great so far. It's a lot of fun. It is for like a high school age.
It's PG.
Audience.
It's still good.
Yeah, I'm not complaining at all, but like it's not as dark as like Multiverse of Madness and
it's...
No Way Home and Endgame and some of the more recent entries.
There are parts of it that I can relate to, which coming from they're Muslim. My family's not Muslim, but they're Indian, and there's parts where, like, when she brings her friend home, and her mom's like, "Oh, let me get you some food." And he's like, "No, I'm okay." And she's like, "I'm gonna get you some food." And he's like, "Sure." And then she comes back with like 10 Tupperwares full of like, and he's like, how'd you do that so fast?
She's gone for like 20 seconds.
Yeah, literally every time I go to my family's house, like, it's like, oh, take food, take food, take food. And it's like, yeah. And I'm never against it because I love that kind of food. But yeah, it is. It's very relatable. And the strict parents and
you mentioned
none of my aunts and uncles are listening to this.
Kind of like
I'm safe to say that.
But you also mentioned like the dynamic between like the mother versus the father, where like the mother is
The
a little
moms
bit more
are
like
the strict ones, dads are the teddy
almost
bears.
helicopter, like
Mm-hmm.
this is the game plan.
Yep.
You do this, and the dads are like,
Yeah.
we can have fun,
Yeah.
but like you have your duties.
Yeah.
Like
It's wild. It's wild. Yeah. I love it. I mean, I didn't grow up with that because, well, we won't talk about my fascia, but
he lives in Florida. It's fine.
yeah, it's great. Enough said. Life's good. But,
Fun fact: today I met Jake's mom for the first time.
Yeah.
This lovely woman.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful woman, beautiful soul, purple hair, pink hair, purple, pink. What would you call that? Like a magenta?
I was gonna say magenta's not wrong. I was gonna say like a deep red with a hint of purple.
She's a very Miss Frizzle-esque personality.
Yeah.
Those of you who don't know who Miss Frizzle is,
Stop
sorry.
listening, because that means that you're not old enough to get past like the explicit rating on Spotify. So stop lying on your profiles.
I mean, her car is covered in flowers.
Stickers.
Flower stickers. One of the things is that that I didn't like, because we always have to do a I like and I didn't like about
Right.
everything we watch. One of the things I didn't like is in the opening sequence of Miss Marvel, she's basically talking about how Captain Marvel punched Thanos in the face, and she's like, "Oh, none of the other Avengers could have done this." She's the coolest.
she's a super fan.
Yeah.
But
like,
continue. Yeah.
We know that Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, all punched Thanos. Iron Man made Thanos bleed.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel didn't. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
She hit him in the face, but he didn't bleed from it.
She did put up a good fight.
She did. It was okay. Yeah.
But it was just, I mean, she's very much on like the fan side of like,
Yeah.
oh, Captain Marvel's my favorite. Oh, she hit Thanos. Like, she's better than everyone.
Yeah. She showed up for like 5 minutes in that fight.
She even mentions, because she does like these like web videos and animations kind of retelling the stories, which is kind of a cool parallel because like in the comics, she wrote basically Avengers fan fiction.
Yeah.
But to update it for the times, now she does like YouTube videos, which is again very similar to like our Peter Parker doing like video documentaries of everything going on instead of just being a photographer like in the comics.
Yeah. Just rolling with
parallels.
the times.
Yeah.
Rolling with the times.
It was a cool little update, but
except she is wrong.
yeah,
Other than that,
she was wrong on that aspect because
she's a kid.
Captain Marvel put up. Captain Marvel did throw some punches, but I mean, Thor stabbed Thanos.
Yeah.
Captain America became a god to fight Thanos, and
put
Iron
him
Man just
in the fucking ground.
fought him.
Iron Man beat the shit. Iron Man
Made him bleed.
made him bleed.
Yeah. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get it. She's young, dumb, full of, you know.
Yeah, she has her favorite hero.
Yeah.
And young and dumb.
Yeah.
It happens. We were all there once.
Yeah.
I would say more naive than dumb.
But the bigger parts of the show that we got to talk about is the bracelet. This is where she gets her power from. I'll let you tell what happens, and I'll tell my theory when you're done.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah, absolutely. So, also in the comics, Miss Marvel always wore bangles. Basically big, gaudy bracelets.
Yeah.
In the show, instead of just being giant, like, gold bracelets, they made it a little bit more relatable to, like, her culture. And she's going to Avengers Con and wants to bring a piece of her culture to her cosplay of Captain Marvel. So it's this big bangle or bracelet, and when she finally gets it on her wrist,
where'd she find it?
well, so wasn't it? It was a box from like
Her grandma.
her grandma. I was thinking it was her aunt, but it was her grandma. You're right. And her mom is like, just put all this stuff in the attic. Like, it's just, your grandma's a hoarder. Just get rid of it. Put it in the attic so if she ever comes by, we can show her that we didn't throw it away. But this is all just garbage to us. But so she grabs it for her cosplay to kind of add her own spice to it. And when she finally gets it around her wrist, we kind of see like an energy field kind of like surround her body. And she's like, whoa, what's going on? And it's kind of cool. And then the bracelet is what has given her these powers to kind of like project like oversized fists or energy beams, or
it's kind of like, dare I say it, Ryan Reynolds, I'm sorry, like a Green Lantern-esque.
Yeah, it kind of
only
has,
it's not what she is envisioning. It's just like when
kind of like what she needs. So it's kind of blending the unfortunate. Green Lantern in the comics is pretty badass, but
Green Lantern's a badass. Yeah.
But in
so is Ryan Reynolds.
Combining like the Green Lantern-esque powers, but making it blend a little bit with the comic book accurate inhuman powers of where she can stretch her body and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like you just said, in the comics it's more of a, she stretches her actual limbs. But in the show, it's more of like a energy field that
like a
looks like
projection.
her limb coming out of the bracelet and doing what she wants it to do. Which is, it's cool. I get it. The leading theory for me, that, and maybe you, we talked about it shortly today, before we started recording, is that we know that in the comics that the Inhumans, which is what Kamala Khan is supposed to be, is an Inhuman, which is a kind of like a variant of a X-Men kind of.
Yeah.
It's the genome.
It's instead of it being just a mutated X gene, it's actually an implanted alien gene that,
which is a experiment from the Kree.
The Kree, which we've met countless times now.
And now this is another interesting fact that I didn't tell you about, but part of it being that I think that this the bracelet is going to be from the Kree. This is going to be some sort of experiment from the Kree. That way they're not messing with like the Gene X,
the origins.
They're not messing with the X-Men quite yet. But it could be that the bracelet unlocks the X gene in people. And so what I read was, and I'm not taking credit for this, is that the bracelet is unlocking her X gene in her, and eventually she wouldn't need the bracelet anymore.
Or I guess in this case, the Inhuman gene.
Yeah, or Inhuman gene, yeah. There's also obviously the Kree thing, but also what furthers this idea or theory is that Will Poulter is playing an experiment made by the Kree. If any of you remember in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the end credit scene was Adam Warlock, and that's who Will Poulter is playing. And just for fun, him and
Florence Pugh
have been seen half naked together
and being a little buddy at a beach,
which is adorable. Yeah,
I like them together.
Sure,
I love Zach Braff, but like,
yeah, you're a little old.
Yeah,
to be dating a 20-something-year-old.
Yeah. No. Correct.
Yeah. Sorry, Zach Braff, I love you.
Tell Donald I say hello.
But yeah, so I think that that with him being a Kree, I think the Kree are going to play a big part. Where I'm going
also,
what do you,
also like the Marvels, because as we saw from Captain Marvel, I mean the Kree kind of inadvertently created her and then kind of held her back.
Yeah.
So like the Kree have been a huge part of this, even with Ronan the Destroyer and Guardians of the Galaxy. Also, if you go back to Agents of Shield. Sorry, I was trying to.
Oh yeah, yep, they're huge in it. Towards
That's
the
because
later seasons,
Inhumans had a huge role for like the second or like the middle aspect of the show.
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And also, if you look at like Thor Ragnarok, like having the vessel that helps harness that power makes a lot of sense, because even in Thor Ragnarok, when Mjolnir got destroyed and Thor finds out that he can still channel the power of thunder and lightning, it was just that the hammer assisted it. So that works really well with that theory of that the bangle unlocked it and helps channel it.
Right.
But eventually she won't need it.
Exactly.
And that kind of also, if we're following the Spider-Man trope of especially Homecoming, when Tony Stark takes away the suit from Peter Parker, and then he still proves that he's a hero by wearing his sweatshirt and swimming goggles.
I'm nothing without this suit. If you're nothing without it,
you don't deserve it.
You don't deserve it. Yeah.
Same sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, she thinks that the bangle is her source of power. And then it turns out that it was just a vessel to channel it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this also runs coincidentally with, and well, not, yeah, whatever. Anyways, the
English.
Yeah.
Words.
The idea that the blip has a major role in unlocking the X gene in, as we know, the X-Men are going to be a part of the MCU now. Disney has bought the rights, and they have
they bought more than just the rights. They bought the full-on studio.
They have been looking for and working on a way to introduce the X-Men, and they have been slowly but surely. If you haven't seen Doctor Strange 2, fuck off. They are introducing the X-Men slowly and surely, and
the Fantastic.
And now the Inhumans, even though they haven't used the word Inhumans yet, the leading theory is that the blip, because as you know from the Deadpool movies, you brought this to my attention, is that you need a push in order to unlock the X gene.
Yeah, so the gene is there; it's just dormant. It needs like stress and adrenaline to cause the mutation, according to the original Deadpool film.
Yeah. So the theory is that the blip, Thanos killing half the universe, and then them being brought back,
so much cosmic energy that it did it without
all of those people who had the dormant X gene is now no longer dormant, and the mutants are going to start showing their faces. The conflict then becomes Wolverine, who has been around since
Professor X, Magneto, a lot of those
have been around since before the blip, who have the X gene. Wolverine's around since like the Civil War, probably before, I think. And so where did but then you don't, technically the blip wouldn't have just created all the X-Men. It just would have created some of them,
expedited the number.
But there could have been other dormant X genes and other people that happened before. So it's a theory. We don't know.
And we got off the topic of Miss Marvel, but one of those things that I wanted, or that we had talked about, was with like Magneto, because in the original story he was a survivor of Auschwitz. But
I didn't mean to give a thumbs up at that exact moment.
Really bad timing.
That was really bad timing.
But my theory is, if they want to make him, 50s, 60s to be like an elder in the realm of the mutants, going back to, the civil rights movement works. like the meltdown at Chernobyl, because he's also European, Russian. Your lights are flickering.
I
It's
saw that. Okay, it
super
wasn't
great.
just me.
Yeah. But like these things that have happened that could have unlocked the genes. I mean, it opens the door for a lot of interesting things without taking away from the characters. And now, I'm sorry, everyone, we're no longer talking about Miss Marvel.
We love Miss Marvel.
It was a fantastic show. I cannot wait for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the first
I think the end credit
episode
scene
was
of the final
end credit
episode.
scene. Yeah.
Not even this end credit scene. The end credit scene of the final episode, I think, is gonna be dope.
Oh, it's gonna be insane.
Yeah, it's got to be Captain
I guarantee
Marvel.
Captain Marvel or Monica.
Monica, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of them are gonna, if not both.
Both would be
Because
fucking
Monica at the end of
went
WandaVision
to space.
went to space.
Yep.
So it could be both. I'm expecting both, to be honest. We'll see.
I'm hoping for both. I'm expecting at least one.
I'm expecting one of them might show up in the actual episode, and then the other one will show up in the end credit scene.
That'd be so sick.
We will see.
Yeah.
But this first episode does have an end credit scene, so just
You go. I don't remember.
be.
I watched it. But I
It's
don't
it's
remember.
very short. Just don't shut it off right away. There's an end credit scene. It shows a couple familiar faces from like No Way Home. That's all we're gonna say. I don't want to ruin it for you guys. Look for it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our second sponsor so we can get into the boys. I want to pick up that and
I got
show
this.
it to the camera while we talk about Crybaby Craig's hot sauce. It's a fantastic hot sauce, pickled habanero and garlic. Goes on pretty much anything, especially if Jake does that enough, it will end up on your face. Sorry, Craig. We love you, and this sauce is fantastic.
The best sauce.
Listen up. We'll be right back with you to talk about the boys. The boys.
The boys.
The boys.
29.
Du Bois, Iowa. 29.
Go.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today.
All right, nerds. All right, nerds. Less.
Keep going.
Last thing we want to talk about is The Boys.
Boys.
Now streaming on Amazon Prime. Episode 4. Holy fucking shit.
If you thought the first 3 episodes weren't gnarly enough,
Spoiler alert.
they're gnarly enough.
They're gnarly. Oh my fucking god.
It's no crawling into a penis and exploding, but it's pretty.
It's
brutal.
Wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. It's crazy. It's nuts. I wrote nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts. With a Z.
With a Z. To not be confused
My
with
notes are fantastic. I don't care who
oats
you
and
are.
almonds.
Homelander is unraveling.
As you would have written, is cray.
Homelander is cray. Yeah.
Homelander is cray.
That boy be wildin'.
He is just off the hinges, though.
Yeah, he's
Just
crazy.
going berserk.
Well, and he's like taking over Vought. That's the scary part. Is he's always been the past 3 seasons. He's been in check by somebody, some sort of blackmail, something. He's not anymore.
Does not give a fuck.
No.
Because he's acknowledged that blackmail him, cool. Kill everyone.
Yeah. If you blackmail me, I will have nothing left. And I will fucking burn this world to the ground. He's like, you want me to be what I am? You want me to be your hero? You shut the fuck up, or I'm gonna kill everybody. Basically.
I mean, that's almost verbatim what he said in episode 3.
Yeah. It is wild. And now he has furthered that by
removing Stan Edgar.
Yeah.
He the head of Vought
threatened his adoptive daughter's daughter and said, "Hey man, I'll fucking kill her."
Yeah.
And so she betrays him.
Yeah. And that's Victoria Newman or
the
Nadia.
Head popper.
The head popper.
Yeah, the pimple popper. That's her superhero name.
Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah, he it's crazy. And I mean, there's even like a really awkward part where she's giving her daughter Compound V because she wants to give her daughter a fighting chance against Homelander if he comes for her. So she's turning her own daughter into a soup. That's what they call it in the show.
A soup.
Soup. Good soup. Were you gonna do it? Damn it. It would have been perfect if we did it at the same time. It is.
I'm having nachos!
It's crazy, dude. The show is so fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's off the hinges. There's also kind of one of the newer soups to the 7 is Supersonic. He's
super lame.
I don't even know what his powers actually are, except for being like a worse Harry Styles. Like he was in a boy band at one point in time, but he has superpowers. I don't know what they are. Either I missed like the 3-second clip where they explain what they are, or it's literally just to drop panties. Which, I mean, wouldn't be a terrible power to have. Sorry, Mom. But it wouldn't be a terrible power to have. But he's known Starlight since they were kids.
I thought his role in the show, just based on, basically, Starlight's like, you got to get out of here because these people are fucking crazy. And he comes back and he's like, nah, I'm going to stay for you. And I thought, spoiler alert, big time spoiler alert, I thought he was going to be a snitch for Homelander. I thought he was going to be a bad guy and be like, oh, I just want to be famous. I don't give a shit about this chick. And that's not what happens at all.
No, he's actually like
legit trying
like
to be
a
good.
genuinely good person, and he even like messes with Starlight a little bit. And he's like, yeah, I'll help you, because she's like, we have to have like safeguards in place to stop Homelander. And she's like, will you help? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, just like that. And he's like, well, yeah, I've always been in love with you. And she's like, he's like, I'm fucking with you. Yeah. He's like, I just want to do the right thing and I trust you. Like, but so he's definitely not a snitch.
And he tries to, and I put the emphasis on tries to recruit A-Train.
Yeah.
Because he sees Homelander just treating A-Train like a pile of shit. And he's like, hey man, we gotta do something about this guy.
Like the start of the season, you're really starting to root for A-Train. We've been made to like think he's a piece of shit for the first 3 episodes, or for the first 3 seasons. And we're like, okay, maybe he's gonna actually like try and like focus on like social justice and actually like do something that's good. Instead,
he Kendall Jenners.
Oh my god.
He Kendall Jenners.
Oh, so part of his rebrand is he tries to put out a commercial for his energy drink, but he's trying to also be like aware of social injustices. Yeah. And I say that in a super condescending way, not because I don't believe that, but that's how he treats it.
Yeah. It's really bad.
They recreated the fucking Pepsi commercial with Kendall Jenner.
Super Bowl Pepsi commercial with Kendall Jenner.
Oh my god.
It is.
It's so hilarious.
Cringy. Yeah, it is.
Because of how bad it is. Yeah. It really makes you, if you didn't watch that original commercial in IRL in real life,
Go watch it. Compare the two of them.
it's the same thing. But if you didn't watch that commercial during the Super Bowl when it's cringiest.
Yeah.
Like, you don't realize how bad it is until someone parodies it by doing the exact same thing, and you're like,
oh, this is so bad. But then you're like,
oh wait,
this is supposed to be bad.
this is
That one
that
was
commercial.
Yeah, it is. It's wild.
Terrible.
It's so bad. Oh man.
Oh.
It's not Kendall's fault.
No, it's not.
Pepsi's fault.
Oh, I'm sure that the Kardashian Jenner brand had some say to it.
Yeah.
And they're also that bad.
Yeah, they're the worst.
But, I mean,
Where were we?
Yeah, we're not quite to that joke that I wanted to make yet. I don't remember the lead up to it, though. I see it on the notes.
What was it?
The bam, bam, bam.
The what?
This one? Yeah.
Oh!
I don't remember the lead up to it either. Fantastic. You guys may never hear the greatest joke that we've ever written. But because
Back to A-Train
and Supersonic.
and Supersonic.
A-Train is still just kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And
Betrays him.
I remember how we got there.
Go for it.
So he
Go on.
he betrays Supersonic and goes to Homelander to tell him, like, hey, they're plotting a coup against you. And it's like, A-Train wants to be famous and be important so much, but he doesn't actually want to do the work to, like, do good. He just wants to be remembered.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the Kardashians, like Kim Kardashian, telling the working people of America to get off their asses and just work.
Right.
Which leads me to ask, like, how's Ray J doing?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit. You know?
Like,
everybody loves the comeback story.
Seabiscuit, Kim Kardashian,
Robert Downey Jr.
I made that joke.
Kim Kardashian.
I made that joke at a child's birthday party literally yesterday.
Why?
Not around the kids, but like the people our age. And I guess nobody watches Parks and Rec in southern Minnesota because they did not know what was coming.
The joke is, for those of you who are wondering why we're talking about this, it's a blooper from Parks and Recreation where Chris Pratt, during a scene where they're talking about a comeback story, and everyone says comeback, like
Seabiscuit, Robert Downey Jr.
And Chris Pratt says
Kim
Kardashian, and everyone kind of stops and looks at him, and he goes, "What? She got cum on her back at some point in that video."
Whack.
Ray J.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom. 2 in this one.
Very sorry, Mom.
Hey,
Don't take less of me. I know you only met me today.
I'm also sorry that we high-fived to that, Mom.
That I'm not. But
I got you, Tracy.
But then, not Supersonic. Not I wanted to say Soldier Boy because that was kind of the next thing we wanted to talk about. Supersonic, for having trusted A-Train and then gets betrayed by him, just gets absolutely murked.
Ripped apart. I mean, there's
by Homelander.
Basically, Homelander is like, "Hey, Starlight, come fly with me," because they're on camera, and she's like, "Nah, I don't want to." And he's like, "Hey, come fly with me," and she's like, "Oh, fine." Takes her up to a rooftop and shows her the decapitated,
dismembered, like just shredded bodily remains
of what's his name?
Supersonic.
And he's like, "Hey, from now on, you don't fucking fight against me. I heard about your coup. A-Train sold you out, so we know A-Train's just a pile of garbage." And
which is how we got to the whole
and
Kardashian
he's like,
reference.
"If you try this again, that body that you're looking at is gonna be your boyfriend, Huey." And she's like crying, and he's like, "Say it." And she was like, "What?" And he's like, "Say that's going to be Huey. And she says it. And then he's like, all right, find your own ride home. And flies off the roof. Because Starlight can't fly.
Yeah.
So he just goes, find your own way home. And he just takes off.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, but fucked up. Super fucked up.
This show perfectly balances fucked up and hilarious. And just brutal shit.
Some of the cooler shit that we haven't really touched on is
what the boys
they go to
are
fucking
doing.
Russia. They go to Russia to find fucking the weapon. And I also have a theory about this that we talked about. We'll get there. We'll get there in a couple minutes. They're looking for the weapon that killed Soldier Boy. When they go to Russia, they find Soldier Boy. Not the weapon that killed Soldier Boy. Oh, I'm fast forwarding a minute.
You are.
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, they do find Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
He's naked.
He naked and burly and
he got ripped. Good for you, Jensen.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're gonna be short, you got to do something.
I mean, Carry On My Wayward Son was definitely playing in my loins during that scene. Sorry, that was couldn't help myself. But so they go to. Well, first, before they even go to Russia, Huey finds out that.
I definitely skipped stuff. Yeah.
That Billy Butcher is hiding the V-24.
He finds out that he's taking V-24.
They call it Temp V in this episode, but originally it was called V-24. It's temporary compound.
It's a 24-hour compound V rather than being a soup.
Right.
Yeah.
So it wears off.
Yeah.
And Huey's like, "Give me some."
Oh shit, we got to talk about that scene before we.
What scene?
I back up a little bit more. There is a super tense scene with Homelander and Huey where Homelander just lets himself into Starlight's house while Huey and Starlight are there. And he just starts pissing, not physically, but emotionally pissing all over Huey. And Huey is just like, you can tell he just wants to throw a punch, but he's like, I'll fucking die if I do this.
He even like steps
into Homelander's face. Yeah.
And Homelander's like, okay.
And then Starlight goes, if you fucking lay a hand on him, I will tell everybody what you are. I will leave this and you won't get any promotion points, which is, he's like,
I will take my ratings with me.
Yeah. And he goes, I'm just kidding. So like that fast forward to where we're at now. Huey sees that Homelander is taking Compound V and he's like, yo, give me some. Or not Homelander, Jesus, Butcher.
Yeah.
And Butcher's like, bro, you don't want this. You don't want none of this, Dewey. Dewey? Huey? Oh my God. It's the same movie.
It's the same scene.
Yeah. And Huey's just like, hey, man.
Well, I don't want to be hungover tomorrow. You can't get hungover. Well, I don't want to get addictive. It's non-habit forming. Well, will it make me want to have sex? It makes sex even better. I think I want it. Okay.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, like
Walk Hard, the movie Walk Hard.
Yeah, the movie Walk Hard.
Yeah. It's the parody of Walk the Line.
Yeah.
But
hilarious. Continue. Sorry.
I don't know where it was.
Well, Butcher is like, it's not.
Yeah, you don't want this.
It's more of a curse.
And Huey's like, hey man,
everything from you.
He's like, Homelander almost fucking lasered me in half today in front of my girlfriend, and I couldn't do a fucking thing to stop him. Let me take this.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, boys and girls. Oh, he takes it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, just this one time. Come on in. Even though Butcher doesn't know.
Yeah,
that
Butcher has no idea. I thought at first maybe he gave, when they first showed it, I was like, oh, he gave it to him. And then you see the look on his face, is like, no, he didn't. He stole that.
But so they get to Russia and they infiltrate this facility trying to...
You explain what happens. I'll explain my theory after.
Okay. So they're trying to find the weapon. They find out that it's a laboratory where they're testing the effects of Compound V or just soup DNA.
And the boys are looking for the weapon.
Yeah, but they come across a lab instead of like an armory.
Yeah.
So they're very confused. They find hamsters, not gerbils. Makes that very apparent.
Superpowered hamsters.
What?
Superpowered hamsters.
Yeah. This hamster can fly.
Beep,
And
beep, beep. No, the first one just starts bouncing around the cage.
well, I think that's the same one.
Is it the same one? Oh, okay, that makes
Because
sense.
it's just like bounce.
It doesn't have anywhere to go.
It's Hamsterlander. It's like a Homelander powered hamster. If you guys didn't understand what a compound word is, not to belittle intelligence.
You're okay. Keep going.
But and then a bunch of Russian armed guards come in, gets into a firefight. Basically, everyone runs out of ammo, and then a hamster fucks a dude up and
Burrows
flies
its way,
and
like-
flies into the dude's eye and burrows into his brain.
It's
And then
pretty
that's
cool.
the end of the hamster that we've seen.
The boys. Woo.
But they're pinned down. Frenchie is out of ammo. Is out of ammo. Huey, I guess, never had a gun because we never see him shoot a weapon, but he's just kind of like hiding in Huey fashion so far. And Butcher just unleashes.
Oh, first he unleashes his famous line.
Oi!
Oi!
Cunt!
Come on, cunts!
And just lasers the fuck out of everyone, is getting shot, nothing's happening to him. And Frenchie are like, WTF, mate?
Yeah.
And it's brutal. I think it's is about to get shot from behind, and Huey, who, this is when we find out that he actually took
V24.
the V24 Temp V, tries to rush the guard, shrinks down to, he basically becomes the new Tick, as what they've called him in the show, or Ant-Man for Marvel fans. So he ends up out of his clothes
Naked.
and re-expands into like full-size human and punches through the guy.
Yeah.
And now he's no longer in his arm cast either. Like,
Yep, his
it
cast came
healed
off,
his arm.
Yeah.
But now he's buck-ass naked. They even make a joke of like, dude, your dick's out.
Well, because is like sitting on the ground,
yeah.
and
Just-
Huey's standing in front of him, and he's like, "Yo, your dick's in my face."
Yeah. But it causes tension.
Between Butcher.
Yeah. But Butcher uses his super strength because he basically has gained Homelander's powers.
Except for flight that we know of.
That we know of.
Yeah.
Rips the door off of this vault, and we see just the burliest of Jensen Ackles.
Yeah.
Like, extremely
He's no longer a wayward
homeless
son.
hipster. Yeah.
He is a monster of, I don't know.
But there may be peace when we are done.
Yeah.
But no.
He's a beautiful specimen.
Oh.
For how small he is, he's...
Hey, stop hating on the short kings, Mr. I'm over 6 feet tall.
Yeah. I'm only mad because my girlfriend's in love with him. So I just have to belittle him as much
Just
as I can.
little digs.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
He's never going to be on the show because of you. That's fine.
He will be. He kicked my ass, so,
Yeah,
I mean...
That's fine.
Yeah.
But we see, and by removing the door of the vault, it kind of awakens him.
Yeah.
He busts out of his shackles and
His ackles, if you will.
yeah, jackals, if you will, like a J Ackles.
His Jensen shackles, if you will.
His Shenson Ackles. Anyways. And then he shoots like a power beam out of his chest towards Frenchie. And then Kimiko jumps in the way, saves Frenchie. She gets hit. She gets thrown through a wall. Jensen Ackles just fucks right off. He
Naked, mind you.
Yeah.
But he does fuck off.
I'm just kidding. I've been watching Stranger Things. Getting caught up, so it's...
And then what happens with Kimiko? And then I'll
she
tell
doesn't
my theory.
she doesn't heal.
Yeah.
And we also skipped a badass fight scene with her with a bunch of dildos, but
Oh, fuck me. No pun intended.
I don't think you want her to fuck you with a dildo based on how that show went. Anyways,
Anyways, there's a wild scene where she kills a bunch of people with a dildo. Anyways, we got it. We covered it now.
What's your theory?
My
Because
fear-
she's not healing.
My theory is Kimiko's not healing. They show after what's his name? Captain Fuckface Point 2.
Jensen Ackles,
Yeah.
Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy. Tell him.
You
He so after he blasts this like energy beam out of his chest, hits Kimiko, they show him and he's like glowing from like the hands and chest, and it looks like he's like absorbing something. He's like kind of like sucking it in. I think that two parts to my theory. One, he took Kimiko's power. That's why she's not healing. And two, that the weapon that they're looking for is not actually like a weapon that would kill Homelander. It's actually a weapon that would take Homelander's powers away, aka Soldier Boy, who just stole Kimiko's power. That's the weapon, is that they could potentially strip Homelander's powers away from him, and then he would just be a man that they could fuck up. That's my theory. I don't know how true it is. It seems like it tracks so far.
But the question remains: is
Homelander a good guy or fuckboy?
You mean Soldier Boy? Because we know that Homelander, neither,
Is
not a fuckboy or a good guy.
we
He's
don't
just
know.
a dick.
We don't know if Soldier Boy is gonna be, like, hey, you're the weapon that could kill Homelander. Is he gonna be like, yeah, I'll help you guys, or is he gonna be like, yo, Homelander, you're dope. Let me join your crew. And then now it's another soup that they gotta fight.
I can see it kind of going both ways.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, yeah, I'll help you kill him. And then he's like, haha, I'm the tough shit now. Go fuck yourself. Sam! Sammy! Or he's just going to be like, God damn it, Cass! God damn it, Homelander! We're on the same side!
Yeah.
Get in my Impala. It's my dad's.
Carry on my wayward son.
So we'll have to see, because I think this season is supposed to be 9 episodes.
And it already got renewed for season 4, which is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means that we're going to have questions at the end of this season.
And potentially, spoiler alert, we don't know, because as you guys know, we did interview Russ Braun.
Yeah.
And he did say in the comics that 2 things happen. Again, spoiler alert, stop listening if you don't want to know this. 1, Huey and fuck me. Oi.
Oh, Butcher.
Butcher. Jesus, there's a picture of him right here. A hand-drawn picture by Russ Braun. Signed and autographed. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Should have brought my ball sack.
Yeah. We know that both Butcher and Huey become soups. Not temporary soups, full-on soups.
All the boys are soups at the start of the original comic run.
So and we also know from talking to Russ that Butcher goes head on with Homelander and does not succeed.
Right.
And that Huey and Homelander have a final showdown. So I am really hoping that that's the way it goes, because as much as I love Butcher, the show has been based
Russ
around.
has told us that like
this show is not.
They've deviated
very
heavily, mostly for character development, but also like he said
That's why
they're
said
pulling
it
stuff
could be
from
very
like
different. Yeah.
where the characters are developing. They're pulling stuff from like future storylines. They're pulling stuff from past storylines to kind of create. So like the show is its own entity.
Yeah.
But like you, I'm hoping that as much as Carl Urban is like a god among nerds.
Yeah.
He's like Andy Serkis,
Yeah.
like
Star
in
Trek,
everything.
Thor, The Boys. What am I missing? Anything?
Judge Dredd,
Judge Dredd. Yeah. I mean, here's
Jonah Hex.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That movie sucks.
Yeah, but still a huge nerd. Anyways, they're like piecing together these storylines throughout the comics, just but we're hoping that we still get to that showdown and then the overall final resolution that still does justice to what the original comics were.
And here's another just a me theory. It's not whatever. This is actually an original theory that I have not read. I think, and I've told you this over, and I've been pounding this into our nerd friends' heads for over a year now.
Yeah,
is that a good villain is the complete opposite of the hero, but in the boys' case, it's completely opposite. The superpowered one is Homelander, and he's the bad guy. So the good, like a really well done opposite of him, would be Huey. He is terrified of everything. He's a skinny, like, you know what I mean? And for him to get Compound V and become a hero and take on Homelander, I think that would be the best possible showdown, because it's like Lex Luthor, Superman, but on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that would be amazing. I love Butcher, and I hope that we get to see an awesome fucking showdown between the two of them.
I'm sure
but
we're going
I
to.
hope that it comes down to Huey and Homelander.
I do too. And like you said, we've talked about this, and once you brought that to my attention, I was like, yeah, that seems the most fitting.
Yeah.
It makes the most sense.
Because then you get, what's her, Starlight is like the Lois Lane, but she's a hero. It's literally Superman in the Justice League, but completely swapped. So she would be like the Lois Lane in the situation, but she has superpowers. And then, Huey being, yeah. Be crazy. We'll see what happens. That's just a theory.
We will.
Yeah.
And we're excited for it. We're only 4 episodes into this season. We have a whole nother season to come. So we can be proven wrong.
I hope we are.
Next week.
Yeah.
But we have a lot to go, and I'm super excited for it. But Jake, we should go ahead and close out this episode.
We gotta close out. We've been going for a while here.
We have. No, the -1. Yeah.
I was like,
You did this last time. That you looked at the clock too. Oh, you know what? Fuck it. With that being said, guys, no, just regular cheers. We do love you guys so much, and thank you for being a part of this for over a year now.
Yeah.
But we do have our live stream coming up July 2nd. We are going to burn the shit out of our mouths, and then the next day, off camera, our buttholes.
Yeah.
We're not going to live stream that.
I feel like the next day is not going to be next day.
You could live stream that if you wanted to. I'm not going to.
You're stupid.
But, so we have that live stream coming up. We have an awesome guest on next week. We can't wait to talk about just nerd culture in general with our guest next week. Yeah. And, we love you guys so much. We do have our website has been completely revamped, relaunched. So go to www.allthingsnerdpodcast.com. Our web store is built into that. We're in the process of transferring everything over to that, but a good portion of the core items are there.
Yeah. So just give us your money.
Yeah, give us our money. Give us your money. Our money is your money.
Break us even.
Yeah. uh, and also, if you like what we do and you like when we do our live streams, our interviews, and you just want to see when we come back from our sponsor spots and we're laughing our asses off and you want to know what we're talking about, subscribe to our Patreon. It's what you can afford to give on a monthly basis, and it gives you an option to see behind the scenes and a little bit more about us.
I subscribe, and we're hilarious.
We are hilarious. Yeah. We're so funny. You guys don't even know. But yeah, all that's there for you. Links are below in the show notes, in our bios on all of our social medias. We love you guys. Thank you so much for letting us do what we do. And, this...
Oh, my God. Sorry.
Okay.
So sorry.
Oh, no, I have to yawn. Oh. This has been the All Things Nerd Podcast.
Tink.